All right, welcome back to the part 2 of episode 1 of our podcast about a quarter life crisis, and you're still with us here at The Road to Forever by Squishies. Once again, this is Kim, and with me are my very good friends. We have Hannah.
Hi guys! Welcome to our part 2.
Yes. Carrie.
Hi guys!
And Zari.
Hi!
Yeah, so without further ado, we'll continue our discussion about the quote-unquote quarter life crisis. So I hope you're ready and I hope you listened to the first part of episode 1. Kasi kung hindi, baka lang naman mahirapan kayong kumuha ng context. So before you listen to this podcast, please make sure that you listen to part 1 muna. But if you've already done that, good job, and now you can listen on. So I guess sige, we can go knowing those things, knowing where we stand in terms of timeline, whether in our career or in terms of relationship. So I guess we've mentioned that we're all still probably experiencing some form of quarter life crisis up until this point. Pero yung initial, like yung parang the worst surge, so to speak nga, how did you cope, or how did you manage to cope with it? Or at least get through or move past it.
The quarter life crisis.
Yeah, yung parang lowest point mo during that time.
Ako kasi, I hired, yun nga, na-mention ko na kanina, I actually hired a life coach. When I did nga, I was having this crisis. Mabait kasi yung boss ko, in fairness naman. Mabait yung mga tao nakapaligid sa akin. Supportive naman talaga sila. They really want what's best for me. Yeah. When people found out about this, sabi nila, binigyan ka ng gano'n. Swerte mo naman. Parang you're so privileged. Totoo. It was a very uncommon thing to be provided to an employee. Kaya I'm really thankful. Yung boss ko, binigyan niya ako ng 1 month sabbatical leave to just, this is such a first world problem, soul searching. Binigyan niya ako ng 1 month leave. Kasi sabi niya, I want you na totally umalis ka muna sa company. Tanggalin mo muna lahat ng problema dito sa isipan mo, lahat ng ginagawa, and just focus on yourself. Kasi hindi na ako healthy. Psychologically or mentally, physically, nagkakasakit na ako. I mean, came to a point na alam mo yun, sinugod ko na yung sarili ko sa emergency room kasi wala namang ibang magsusugod sa akin kundi sarili ko. Diba? I came to that point. So, sabi ko, okay, mag-1 month sabbatical leave ako. What should I do? Dapat may direction. Hindi lang na nag-leave ka, tapos nagpahinga ka lang sa bahay, kumain ka ng marami, nag-Netflix and chill ka, ganyan. Hindi siya ganun. Dapat yung guided, yung 1 month na pag-leave ko from my job. But before this moment, syempre, ayoko naman i-belittle yung mga efforts na nangyari before that. Kasi how I managed it or coped with it, kasi hindi ko naman naintindihan na quarter life crisis siya. First, nagtanong muna ako sa mga tao. Syempre, my peers, syempre, my friends, diba? My closest friends who are in this podcast with me. Nagtanong-tanong din ako. Kaso kasi, this is not, sinasabing hindi useful yung mga advice ng mga friends natin but it's more of, minsan kasi, may hinahanap kang sagot. Pero hindi yun yung binibigay. Hindi mo siya mahahanap sa mga friends mo. Kasi naghanap ako ng sagot sa friends, colleagues, mentors, former bosses, family, and everything I heard, it doesn't fit. Parang tumatalbog lang siya sa akin. And it doesn't nag-resonate. Hindi niya na-move yung heart ko. Diba? Parang hindi niya nasasagot yung problema ko. Kahit itry ko, kahit gawin ko, pero parang laging may block. Hindi I don't understand what is that wall na I could not overcome no matter how much I try. And then, I started reading articles, ganyan, sa online, trying to find yung mga signs and symptoms, bakit ko siya nararamdaman, anong way ko to resolve it. And then, that's when I said, may nagsabi sa akin dati, alam mo ba may mga coaches, ganyan, they guide you in life. Supposedly, my boss was gonna enroll me in like life coaching course para to go through like a 1 whole week para to empower myself. But it feels na hindi siya fit for me. And so, when I got the sabbatical leave, thank you po. sa aking boss. And hindi po lahat ng companies ganun, pero I was lucky enough na I got a sabbatical leave. I had a life coach who went through like a 6 weeks program with me, asking about life, just asking about everything, questioning yung mga choices ko, which is good kasi yun pala, ang kailangan ko is a person who is a third party, non-related, no biases at all, na hindi ako kilala, na kayang sabihin sa akin point blank na ito, sa paningin ko, listening to your story, this is how I see your life. And this is how you've made your choices. And this is the things that you want to do. And at the same time, it was a very open conversation na the person makes you feel na anything is possible. Kasi diba, kanina na pag-usapan natin, timelines, age, culture, yun yung mga bagay na kinoconsider natin. Or actually ito pa, yung mga personal beliefs natin and values na pinangahawakan natin. We don't really question them kasi part na siya ng pagkatao natin eh. So parang, this person made me question those. Na itong mga beliefs ko or yung mga nagli-limiting beliefs sa akin na pinaniniwalaan ko na dapat hindi na ako muna sa trabaho to kasi ito na yun eh. Ilang taon na ako, ganyan, matagal na ako dito sa job na to. Yun yung nag-wake up call sa akin na, okay, if you ask yourself, if you have no limitations at all, what would you do? Huwag mo muna isipin yung family, friends, kasi at the end of the day, you're making the decision for yourself. You're the one who's gonna live your life. Not them, not your friends, not your parents, not your colleagues. Ano yung gusto mong gawin? At saka, pag dumating ka na ba, kapag 20 years later on in your life and you look back, anong gusto mong matandaan sa sarili mo? Would you want na maging miserable ka kasi you did not take that leap of faith? So, yun yung mga parang it helped me to cope with what I was going through. But it wasn't the answer. It's not like overnight, after 6 weeks, okay ka na, masaya ka na. You've got ding, ding, ding moments. Every day, like inspiration. It's a conscious effort to keep choosing nga yung mga ganong bagay na, okay, I'm gonna do this for myself. But of course, hindi naman, kasi pag gagawa tayo ng bagay para sa sarili natin, people would view it selfish. Doing self-care is selfish. But I think we also have to remind ourselves, you're not living our lives. We're the ones who lives our lives. We're the ones who, wake up every day and face all of these challenges. So I think we would know better what kind of choices we should be making in consideration, of course, yung mga tao na sa paligid natin. There. Yun lang. Yun yung parang naging way ko of managing. How about you guys?
Ako siguro, how I cope with it, nung na-trigger kasi siya, since nagpatong-patong na siya, it came to a point na nag-open up na ako sa parents ko. Letter ko pa yun in-open up eh. So, nag-open up ako sa parents ko. Tapos, shinare ko sa kanila what I was going through, ganon. Mm-hmm. And then, I actually saw, hindi ko maalala I'm sorry, hindi ko talaga maalala kung ano yung right term to call her, but I actually talked to a professional. Hindi ko talaga maalala kung anong tawag sa kanya. Hindi siya coach hindi siya coach, hindi siya psychologist or anything, but I did talk to a professional. And kahit paano that helped. Pero I think, ang naging coping mechanism ko was I find time for family kapag nandito yung parents ko, yung dad ko. Kapag bumibisita siya, I make it a point na dapat makakasama ko siya. Kahit sobrang saglit lang, kailangan makasama ko siya. Kasi parang yun yung naging coping mechanism ko na I wanna be surrounded by people na, alam mo yun, iba kasi kapag yung environment mo at peace ka eh. And kahit pa paano kasi, I find peace kapag kasama ko talaga. Siyempre yung loved ones ko. So, I make it a point na kahit sobrang busy ng schedule, kinikita ko talaga yung mga taong important sa akin. Kahit kayo, di ba? Kahit sobrang saglit lang.
Mm-hmm.
So, yun yung naging coping ko. Kasi ang nagiging nila is, ang usual kasing rant or labasan ng loob ng mga tao is usually inuman, parties, ganon. Eh, hindi kasi yun yung crowd ko. Hindi kasi ako mahilig sa mga ganong scenes. So ako, yun, more on family time. Tapos nung nandyan na yung pamangkin ko, spending as much time with her, yun talaga yung nagiging relief ko. Kahit papaano. Parang yun yung escape ko eh. So, yun siguro yung naging coping mechanism ko. Kasi for other people kasi, ang lagi na lang sinistress is, dapat wala kang social life when it comes to med school. Dapat focus ka lang dyan. Dapat aral ka lang ng aral. Bawal ka ng ganyan, bawal ka ng ganyan. Yun kasi yung naging parang culture din. Kasi parang sinasabi nila na hindi ka dapat nag-i-enjoy. Parang ganon. Pero, yun yung naging ko kasi na nung na-realize ko na I'm putting so much pressure on myself na I think kahit naman ngayon meron pa rin naman akong nilalagay na pressure sa sarili ko. But, you know, na-realize ko na I have to live in the moment. Na kailangan isipin ko rin naman yung self ko na deserve ko rin naman ng rest from time to time. So, naging process siya na iniisip ko na kailangan ko yun. Deserve ko rin naman yun. Kasi yun yung nagiging na parang, di ba parang nakaka-guilty kasi na kapag when you're at a certain point in your life na kapag may ginagawa, kailangan dire-diretso lang, kailangan full force, na nakakalimutan natin na deserve natin to rest. Yun yung nagiging toxic culture din eh. Yung laging sinasabi sa atin, hindi ka dapat, parang nakaka-guilty na nag-rest. Pero yun yung na-realize ko. Na I deserve to take some time for myself to just, breathe. Yun. Yun yung naging coping ko siguro.
And be surrounded by your loved ones.
Yeah, be surrounded by the people that really matter.
I mean, may add lang ako. Hindi ko kasi malala yung term, pero parang yung mga sinasabi na sobrang masyadong privilege naman yung may term yun eh.
Entitled?
Entitled, there. That's the right term. Parang, it's different from self-care and entitlement. Na parang, deserve ko to eh. Bigay mo sa akin. Ganon. May ganon. Hindi namin yun pinopromote. Hindi namin siya pinopromote. What we're saying, di ba? It's like,
when you know you've given enough of yourself.
It's about boundaries.
Yes.
It's about knowing when to stop, when to rest, when to say no, when to say yes. So,
when to prioritize yourself.
Yes. Hindi po siya pagiging selfish, hindi siya pagiging entitled na, kasi diba sa generation daw natin, masyado daw tayong entitled. Well, maybe to some extent, may ganong mga section of people, but not everyone. I think it's more of understanding yung limitations mo bilang tao. Kung hanggang saan lang natin kaya. And hindi mo tayo robot, kailangan natin magpahinga. Hindi mo tayo 24/7 bukas lagi.
True.
Fast food chain na lang, ganon.
Drugstore.
True. Zari.
For me, ano nga ba? Siguro at that time, diba I mentioned kasi that HR has different function and I've been in the recruitment facet for so long. When I was thinking kung saan facet ako pupunta, I went back to the time na I worked in this company na I got exposed somehow, even for a little, dun sa training facet, the learning and development team. At that time, kasi somehow parallel or parang nag-connect siya dun sa personality ko na yung isang personality ko na mahilig
Multiple
magsalita.
personality disorder ba siya? Hindi natin alam.
I mean,
Sinong Zari pala yung kausap natin all this time?
Oh my God. The things that we are revealing here. Wala natin pag-usapan to offline, ha?
sige, later. Yung isang personality ko, yung papakausap ko. Anyway, nag-align siya somehow din sa part of my, part pala, hindi pala isang personality, part of my personality that loves to, tama na tao sa Karina, na mahilig somehow magsalita kahit pa paano. And parang lightbulb na naman yung sabihin ko. Na-inspire ako. Na-inspire ako during that time nung na-expose ako sa training na to train people.
Mm-hmm.
So, to answer the question, paano ako nag-cope up on that point of my life na gusto kong mag-shift is I went back to those things that I found myself interested in. Because I think that's something that's very important din kasi in choosing one's career. Even though you're not on your dream job, but if there's something naman that interests you on this job, it means that there's something that it could find joy dun sa kung nasaan ka. So I think that's what happened to me at that time na nagkaroon ako ng interest in this part. And going back din kasi, and at that time, I went back din sa time ko nung college na I was part in the council. So being in the training kasi it's more of physical and sometimes thinking na trabaho compared to recruitment na more on hanap and doon kasi ako na-expose sa part ng recruitment, more on sourcing, recruiting, which is a breath of fresh air nung napunta ako sa training.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi naiba yung environment ko talaga. And because kasi training is not hindi lang kasi ikaw yung nagkakaroon ng nagbibigay ng knowledge to other people, but at the same time, you're learning something else. Because one part that we, as trainer talaga, yung, ang tawag dito, nakalimutan ko yung term, pero yung itinuro sa amin nung ka-team ko is, you cannot be a trainer if you don't have the enough credibility to train others. Kung hindi mo siya natutunan dun or na-experience. So, ayun siya. So, yeah.
May add lang ako. Naalala ko lang when sinabi kasi ni Zari na parang she looked back diba, sa mga bagay na interest niya. I had a mentor before who asked me when going through this whole crisis na there are 3 things that you have to look when you're looking for your career or the job that you want to pursue. Your career must align on these 3 things. It should align with your interests, your skills, and your values. And if at any point in your life or at any point in your career, nababali mo na or nako-compromise mo na yung what your values are, your skills are, and your interests are, then there is already a misalignment between you and your career. So I think it was also yung naging guidance ko when I was doing the whole changing of industry and changing of careers that unang-una nabali ko na yung values ko dun sa ginagawa ko. And yung pinakamasakit kasi parang pagkatao ko na yung tinamaan nung trabaho. So, syempre, hindi dapat ganun. Dapat it should support who you are as a person and improve it while contributing to your company. Yan. Back to you, Kim.
Back to me. Ayan, how did I cope? Yung coping ko siguro is more of not exactly coping but more of an introspection and reflection. Na kasi I mentioned, hindi, gawa lang, na nosebleed, na epistaxis si Zari. Pero kasi, kaya nga.
Kaya hindi naririnig yung term na yun. Oh my God, college days.
Epistaxis. Ayan. Pero ayun nga, kasi dumating kasi yung point of realization na yun while I was at the midst of the contractual work I was in. Na yun nga, doon ko na-realize na mas na-enjoy ko pala yung setting na nagtuturo ako na, yun nga, again, to quote, mas intimate yung setting in a way na napapaligiran ka ng mga estudyante na mga kilala mo kasi they are with you for a long time. So you really have a chance to get to know them.
Mm-mm.
Ayun. So, hindi naman, I mean, yeah, I asked rather for opinions or suggestions. Tinanong ko din yung mga nakapaligid sa akin, especially mga magulang ko, kasi sila yung unang maapektuhan pag nawalan ako ng trabaho.
Mm-mm.
Like, willing ba sila? I was fortunate enough that they gave me the chance na hindi naman nila ako parang sinabihan na, hindi, huwag ka mag-resign, huwag mong ano yan. They gave me a chance naman to realize it for myself. To realize what I truly want to do. And eventually, na-achieve ko naman yun. Na-reach ko naman. So, hindi naman ako tatagal din sa industry na to. Like I said nga, it's something naman na I see myself doing for a long time.
Mm-mm.
Siguro lang with a higher salary.
Or the owner of your own learning center.
Higher salary, or if I own my own learning center or own school. That's the dream kasi that's the goal. Pero the teaching part itself, being able to teach kids, share knowledge, it's something that I can see myself doing for a long time naman. So siguro to wrap our discussion up, siguro, what advice can you give siguro people who are somehow they feel na through our discussion na parang nagkaroon din sila ng light bulb moment, ding 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 ding, na ay, parang nagdadaan ako sa quarter life crisis kagaya ng sinasabi ng Squishy. So what advice do you think you can give them? Yeah. So
Maging
yung mga
lost lang
words
kayo. Go with Maging lost lang kayo. Yun lang yung napulot nag-go with the
It's okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Hindi, ako, I think, ayun, for me, it's okay if you feel burnt out. It's okay if you feel less driven. It's okay kung dumating ka sa point na hindi ka na motivated. That's okay. And don't compare yourself to others, especially yung mga colleagues mo. Kasi you have your own time eh. Hindi ka naman nakikipagkarera. The only competition you have is yourself. So, okay lang na maramdaman mo lahat ng yun kasi tao ka lang naman eh. We get tired. And kaya nga meron tayong mga ganitong experiences is because we need to learn din. It's a path for us to grow. It's a path for us to learn more about life. Kasi hindi naman black and white lang yung life eh. You have to go through this for you to be able to really find yourself along the way. So, ayun, yun yung magiging advice ko for our listeners.
Hear, hear.
Truth.
Sorry.
She's really making a case, no? She's really making a case.
I know.
Pinangangatawanan niya tonight.
Sige, Zari. Simulan mo ang advice mo. Tingnan natin kung how effective na may ganito.
And ayan. For me kasi, di ba, in life naman, there are people talaga who are lucky enough na they're in the job or they're in the career that they really like, na talagang pinangarap nila kahit nung bata pa sila. They're in the relationship that they have imagined before, nung younger days nila. But then again, life is not always perfect, di ba? Yung tulad nga ng tanong sa akin ni Hannah kanina, paano ko nasabi na hobby lang yung photography and events management? Siguro dahil din I was not passionate enough then to pursue yung mga bagay na yun. So for those na who are experiencing possibly experiencing quarter life crisis ngayon, or may experience nyo pa lang pero somehow hindi masyado, it's not a foolproof or hindi siya based on studies, but it's good that you have other things that you could explore on para you could go back. If you're on that point na tingin mo na lost ka na, you could go back in time to check yourself or to check your life before. Ano ba yung mga bagay na naging interested ako? What are the skills that I had before na talagang nakita ko na it's my strength? So, building on that, on those memories or experiences that you had, could be a small step that you could take para mahanap mo somehow yung correct. I won't say correct kasi hindi naman natin nape-predict ang future, but somehow ma-lighten yung situation mo on being in the quarter life crisis. So find the things that you are remember back on the things that you found interest in or the things that you were passionate about to somehow guide you. And makita mo siya at somehow makita mo siya on the position where you are in. Parang yung sabi ko nga kanina, diba? Yeah.
So, what about si Hannah?
May nangyayari dun kina Zari na I don't want to really ask about it. So, in my case naman, advice for those going through the similar thing. Touch ko lang din yung sinabi ni Zari about passion. Dati advocate ako ng passion eh. O, di ba dati? Follow your passion. Follow your path. Ganyan. Bukumugbig ko yan dati. But now, because I've transitioned nga careers and of course, marami na rin life experiences na nangyari. And sorry, mahala. I mentioned kay dad mo. Hindi, kasi I had this part na I had to sit down with his dad, na my boyfriend's dad. Na parang, of course, they were asking me dun sa mga desisyon ko rin sa buhay, which is out of concern. And kasi hindi naman madali yung papasukin ko, 'di ba? Magiging entrepreneur ako and I have to strive financial independence on my own and do everything on my own. Na usually a company full of employees will now be done just by one person. And they asked me if it's something I'm passionate about. Pag nandun ka na sa bagay na gusto mong i-pursue, kasi ba nag-sabbatical leave din ako for 1 month. I've tried so many things. Nag-culinary din ako eh. Nag-culinary ako, tube ako, ganyan. Marami akong ginawa. Tinry ko mag-influencer, pero hindi naman talaga siya for me. But the thing is that passion, even if you're passionate about something, it's not enough to sustain yung all throughout. Kasi mako-question mo yung passion mo. Mababurn out yung passion mo eh. Mawawala siya. Yung passion kasi naka-anchor siya with your inspiration to do things. The important thing is, what is the biggest motivation that could push you to keep on going even if the road gets tough? Kasi kahit sabi mong passionate ako about baking, pag sinasabi nga ng mga tao na, alam mo ba Hannah, grabe no, passion ka talaga sa baking. Kitang-kita sa craft mo na you really love what you do. Ang sinagot ko sa kanya, talaga? Do you think I'm passionate? Kasi, syempre, I'm doing this out of necessity. Financial
first and foremost.
Syempre, hindi yun yung greatest motivation mo, di ba? Yes, I would say I am passionate when it comes to food. I do love doing culinary, but it's not enough to keep me going. What keeps me going and what wakes me up every day is the thought na I'd be able to do my part to help out my family, to provide, to afford the necessities I need. yung basic needs ko on a day-to-day basis. And that's my biggest motivation. Hindi enough na passion ka lang. Sorry na. Alam ko marami ding mga motivational speakers. I've been a motivational speaker. I'm a certified life coach, but I am telling you guys na it's not enough to keep you going. But that's my personal opinion, and I will let you and your experiences find out if what I'm saying is true. At the same time, whatever works for you. My other advices would be like, don't make rush decisions when you're under extreme emotions kasi you will regret it later on. Kasi kapag undergoing a quarter life crisis, you are having this barrage of emotions. You're confused, you're angry, you're hungry. Hungry ka. Pero you're sad, you're depressed, you're lost, ganyan. I would suggest you don't make those very life-changing decisions kasi hindi ka nag-iisip logically. You're just thinking with your heart. Not that I'm saying that your heart is wrong, but you need to have a balance of both. Kasi kung puro puso lang yung susundan mo, then makakalimutan mo na may mga repercussions na mangyayari kapag ginawa mo yung desisyon na yun. And baka mas malaki pa yung mawala sa'yo kesa mag-gain mo when you make those kind of decisions. Another is stop finding answers from someone else when you need to look those kind of answers within yourself. Diba sabi ko nga sa inyo, tinanong ko na lahat. Ang dami ko nang tinanong, pati si Google tinanong ko na. Si Siri, si Bixby, tinanong ko na sila. Marami nang tinanong. Pero at the end of the day, kahit nag-hire ka ng coach, you look for a professional, you have a mentor, all of the things that you're gonna do in your life, all of the choices will boil down to you. So, wag mo i-undermine yung power mo to make a choice and feel na trapped ka na on your dead-end job like how I felt before. Felt ko kasi yun na parang, ganito na lang ako. Ito na yung industry ko forever, ganyan. Hindi, kasi nakakalimutan mo na before everything happened, before ka na-educate ng system, before dinictate ng culture kung ano dapat ka, sino ka, at dapat nasaan ka na, you were a blank canvas. Your environment painted on it. Nasaan yung part mo dun sa canvas na yun? Hanggang saang part ng canvas na yun na ikaw yung nagpinta, hindi yung mga taong nasa paligid mo. And I think that's the voice na hindi nakakalimutan natin yung sarili natin na meron tayong power to choose on where our life is heading. So, and lastly, dami ko experience, no? Hindi, pero eto na, last ito. Parang, be brave to make the tough decisions. I've made a lot of decisions during my quarter life crisis. And some people hate me for it. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry for hurting your feelings, but I'm not gonna apologize for the choices I've made. I've separated from toxic friends. I've left the job, a stable job. And it takes a lot of guts to do that. Minsan kasi, we're in a relationship na hindi naman pala na, effective for you. Hindi kayo nag-grow, pero you're staying kasi you're afraid to be alone. Diba? Or we're staying in a company kasi, yes, it does provide financially. Pero, yun pala, ang dami-dami mo ng sakit na nakuha. Na emergency room ka pa. Diba? Parang, you're staying in touch with these people around you. Pero, yun pala, puro gossip na lang. Or, instead of bringing you up, they bring you down. And you're believing those kind of beliefs. So, you have to make a decision for yourself and be brave to make that decision na pag ginawa mo to, you're doing it para mas maging masaya ka, mas maging okay ka, mas maging buo ka bilang tao. And baka move on ka from the crisis that you're having. Kasi may midlife crisis pa, di ba? So, baka pagdaanan mo rin yun. But at least, di ba, you have, your 20s is supposed to be your foundation. This is where you're supposed to make mistakes. This is where you're supposed to, go against the normal. And that's fine. Make everything that you do in your 20s. Kasi in your 30s, dapat medyo natutunan nga talaga tayo. Na konti lang. Hindi ko naman sinasabing full na. Pero yun yung parang would be something na wag niyang i-pressure yung sarili niyo, which we've been saying all throughout this podcast. Your 20s is not a dead end. Hindi pa tapos ang buhay doon. Ang dami pa, may 30s, 40s. Diba life begins at 40? Meron na rin life begins at 60 eh. Dahil may ano na ngayon, senior citizen privileges. Ayun. So there. How about you, Kim? Ano magiging advice mo sa ating mga listeners?
Okay, advice. Pero I would like to, talk about 2 points that you've mentioned about passion and about bravery. So, passion, it's tulad ng sabi ni Zari kanina, there are people that are lucky enough that they're able to pursue what they want, their interest. Kung ano yung initial nilang ginusto nilang gawin, nagagawa nila. That's well and good. However, there are people that despite na ganito yung gusto mong gawin, their circumstances do not allow them. And that's what you pointed out, na hindi lang din sapat yung passion. No? Pero, yun nga, but there are others kasi that, yun na nga, due to their circumstances, they aren't able to pursue that. So, when it comes to bravery, it's also brave, I think, na kasi for you, it takes bravery to make this life-changing decisions. But for me then, I would also like to remind our listeners and our watchers that it also takes bravery to stay in the place where you are right now and to find the motivation to keep doing that. That's also, for me, a form of bravery. Yes. Kasi hindi madaling mag-push to sa isang bagay pag pakiramdam mo na hindi na feasible for you eh. Kaya nga lang kasi there are, more often than not, people are left with no choice. Kaya I would like to commend those people na it's not wrong. You don't feel bad that you aren't able to pursue your passion or that you don't feel that you are changing your life. What you're doing now is enough. Yan. Kaya siguro, aside from that, dahil nga may constant pressure kasi sino ba yung nagsasabi na hindi sapat yung ginagawa mo? Minsan it's just the external forces or external factors around you eh. It's the pressure of the culture, of the society, of whatever, of financial problems or thoughts of financial stability. Sila din naman kasi yung parang kahit pa paano nagdi-dictate kung bakit ka, why you feel discontented with where you currently are right now. That's why my advice siguro is to breathe, to breathe and slow down. Kasi para din ma-achieve mo yung na-mention ni Hannah na parang clarity. Kasi once tama yun, I agree with that. When you are at the height of your emotions, making life-changing decisions is really, you cannot really kasi foresee the consequences. And hindsight could bite you. And mas mahirap na ganon, na you burned your bridges, you left everything, pero at the end, wala kang natagpuan. Mahirap din naman. So, kaya take a moment to breathe and slow down para at least makapag-introspect, makapag-reflect kung ano ba yung values mo, yon katulad ng nabanggit ni Hannah, ano ba yung values mo at sa point ng buhay mo ngayon, ano ba yung priorities mo. So, breathe and slow down to think about why are you doing the things you are doing right now? Why do you want to make a life-changing decision or why are you staying in your situation at the moment? And hopefully, I hope with my hope of hopes, with my heart of hearts, that through that, pag na kahit pa paano, magkaroon ka ng clarity, magkaroon ka ng ding-ding-ding moment. Ayan. So, it's magkaroon ng light bulb moment na it takes recognition. Yan. I guess to recognize din na yung pinagdaanan mo, it's a culmination naman kung saan ka nakarating ngayon. Hindi naman basta-basta yung pinagdaanan mo. So, don't discount your experiences. So, it always counts for something.
Add ko lang, if ever lang sa mga listeners and watchers natin, if ever may pinagdadaanan kayong ganito or any of what we've talked about resonated with you and you're undergoing something and you want to ask us to questions or gusto mong may sagutin kami about what you're going through based on our experiences or on expertise, please do email us or mag-comment kayo on kung nasaan yung mapanood yung aming podcast sa YouTube man, sa Facebook or Instagram. We'd be very glad to answer your questions and share our own insights on what you're going through. And if ever you need just someone to talk to, feel free also to talk to us.
Yeah.
Iba rin na pag meron kang third party nga na perspective na non-involved with your life. Kasi we can be more objective. But, of course, it doesn't have to be na close na tayo doon, di ba? Hindi naman ibig sabihin, no? Hindi kami para makikialam kami sa buhay mo, ganyan. But sometimes kasi, we just need a shoulder to lean on or a person to listen. Hindi mo naman, minsan hindi natin kailangan advice sa buhay kasi alam naman natin yung gagawin natin. Minsan kailangan mo lang tayo na makikinig. And if you want us to listen to you and you just want us to send a letter or you want to send an email or a message, then feel free because we're there to support you. We've been there, we're still there, and we're surviving to go through this space. So we definitely know what we're talking about. And we can be of help to you.
Your experiences are valid whether they are similar to ours or completely different from ours.
Yeah.
So we hope that we can, offer at least some comforting words kung sakali man, if you'd like. Just know that we're
or
here.
Be brave enough. Yeah.
Yes.
Be brave enough also if you want to share your story, then that's also great because you can inspire so many others who are with you there. Kimi.
So that's it for our first episode. It's a bit lengthy, but we hope that through our sharing of our experiences, may napulot kayong karunungan or kaalaman na hopefully makakatulong sa inyo kung sakali man kayo ay nagdaranas, if you're currently experiencing or about to experience or have experienced the quote-unquote quarter life crisis. So it's not linear, pero we'll get there. This too shall pass.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so with that, we'd like to thank you, our listeners and watchers, for sticking with us through this episode. So we hope to see you again for our next episode. Ayan, good night. Bye-bye. This is Kim, and with me are my friends saying good night and goodbye. So Hannah.
Bye guys. Good night.
Carrie.
Till next time.
Bye, good night. Stay safe.
And Zari.
Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Bye guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow.
That's right. Ding, 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 ding.
Bye, ding, ding, ding. Bye, guys.